the Cauldron, first real dungeon of the game, I'd say. This one's the first one that actually has puzzles, and the first Zelda dungeon of the game. The first one was like a tutorial.
Yeah.
This is the first real one. Starting to get into it. Switches and levers and things to roll around and put onto pressure plates and...
Oh man, that's all the ingredients of a dungeon.
Oh yeah. So, I'm going to be picking up all the good shit. Getting all the hidden extra treasure chests that I can find. I'm going to do as good of a job as I possibly can. And I guarantee I'm going to miss a bunch of shit along the way because there are a ton of dungeons in this game. So, the very first thing is you get those little bombs, and that's an ingredient that's going to get thrown into a lot of puzzles throughout the whole game. Those little bombs, you use them to clear away the corruption, they call it. It's like this weird yellow and black glowing kind of goo. And the first thing I did was I threw it on a bunch of the corruption that was growing on top of the treasure chest. So it knocked away all the crap so I could actually get to the treasure chest. And the second thing I did was I threw it on a switch. Or a switch that you could normally push if you could reach it. But because you can't reach it, you throw it on it and then it explodes and then it pushes it in. And that opens the door to the next room. Did you do the last 2 Zelda guides entirely on your own?
Yep.
Is this game rated M for mature? It's got to be, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because I have been swearing up a storm, like my normal drinking self, so I haven't thought about it. And that's why you didn't allow me on the previous Zelda
Well, the
guide.
first Twilight Princess, we didn't live together?
We didn't do voiceovers together. It took us a while to start doing voiceovers.
We hadn't even done them together yet.
Yeah.
So I just did that all by myself.
Yeah.
And then Skyward Sword, I didn't let you. Because
You put me in timeout.
I knew you didn't have the self-control to not swear.
That is correct.
And not only that, but you would have been making inappropriate jokes the entire time, whether or not it was like foul language. You'd be like, well, that guy looks like a big penis.
Mm-hmm. And that might not be necessarily M for mature, and you're absolutely right. I would, even if I could watch my language, I don't even know if I can anymore.
Yeah.
I would try to like if I was thinking that much about not swearing, thinking about it that much would make me try to swear in creative ways, or be like kind of dirty in creative ways.
Well, you're not allowed on it.
Well, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
The Zelda guide's over.
Yep.
And we're not doing Zelda. This is Darksiders, M for mature. Fantastic.
And
so
I can say whatever the heck I want.
you can say whatever the frack you want. I would have used frack a lot, as for darn sure, in the Twilight Princess walkthrough. So you make your way around the room. The only major complaint I have about this game that is not solved by the PC version. So there's two complaints I have about this game. One is the lack of, I don't know how you describe the save system, like a Skyrim style save system.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you want, or the autosaves are really far apart.
So in Zelda, can you like save to a different file?
Yeah.
You can't. Okay, you can't do that in this. I mean,
There's
like
different files. I don't know if you can save to a different file mid-game.
Oh, okay. So like this reminds me of like old school Nintendo style saves, where you have one save file for your game, and you can't like save to another one and have a backup if you want to go back and try something different in terms of like leveling up.
Yeah.
Or
I don't remember.
For nightmare difficulty, making a backup and saving to a different file, so that like if you die, you don't fuck yourself.
I see what you're saying.
But I mean, like even nightmare difficulty aside, you can't like create a backup file. Say the power goes out while it's saving and it gets corrupted.
Yeah.
Which is kind of bullshit. I don't like that. I've played enough games over the years where I've had save files get corrupted at the 70-hour mark that I look at the game after that and I'm like, nope. I'm not going back.
done.
I'm done. Corrupted save file means I'm gone. The other thing that really bothers me is in the settings. Oh, and that doesn't change at all on the PC version. I read I don't remember what they called it. Kind of a review of the PC version on IGN, and it looked almost identical to the console version. It didn't have any of the upgrades that you would expect for a PC version. And they may patch that in there later. Like, there's even simple things, like a more advanced save system.
Okay.
Graphics sliders, like more, like tons of graphics options. Like, you know, if you load up like a Half-Life game, there's, like, they have the basic sliders.
You want shadows and textures.
Right, but then they also go into the crazy, like they have that advanced tab where there's all sorts of shit that I don't even completely understand. I know that I can, like, I've got a great computer, I can run everything in max, but not everybody can. So some people like to kind of adjust some of that stuff. They don't have that. They don't have, like, it's, some of the gamepad options seemed kind of shitty. Like, and even things like adjusting the resolution on the PC version of this. They said you had to restart the whole game if you're changing the resolution. Which, like, most of the time it just kind of, like, snaps in and snaps out.
That's a weird flicker.
And then, like, sometimes it'll move all my icons around on the desktop, which is insanely weird. Like, why the fuck does that happen? So the PC version, the PC version is not going to improve your Darksiders game at all, which was the information that I was looking to get. Because I'm recording this on the Xbox 360 now, and I almost bought it on the PC just to see what was new. Like, if maybe I could save myself some hassle by having multiple save files, but it doesn't exist in the PC version. Anyway, so the other thing that bothers the hell out of me in this game is in the settings, there's an option to adjust the sensitivity while you're aiming, but you can't adjust the sensitivity for the camera right now. Aiming is only when you click right stick and you're shooting or you're throwing an item or something like that, and you have crosshairs on the screen. It kind of zooms in and gets quite a bit closer to his shoulder. But right now, with this kind of zoomed out third person, you can't make that camera go any faster at all.
And you want it to.
I want it 3 times as fast as it is right now. The combat's so fast. I also like to pull the camera out a little bit because the combat, the group combat, like when it's a boss, it's not a big deal. But in the group combat, sometimes it can be hard to tell like where all the enemies are, because you'll kind of focus on one guy and try to take him out first and kind of whittle them down, and you'll get like sabotaged from a different side. So zooming out would be nice, and I could see maybe that being on like the mouse wheel on the PC. But you can't adjust the fucking camera speed at all, and because like those collectibles that I was pointing out before that I have to get the gun to shoot, they're always in these high up areas, and you're constantly scanning the whole environment to find these collectibles. Like, you know me. Yeah. Like when I play these games, I'm scanning the whole environment. I want to see every little thing. I'm looking at all the corners. Like, I'm moving the camera around constantly just like looking for something to grab my attention, like a strange color out of nowhere to say, oh, there's a collectible there. Oh, there's a hidden item, whatever. And when the camera's so slow, it makes it slow and frustrating to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I want to make it so much faster than it is right now. And it's just really freaking annoying. Yeah. So those are the things that really bothered me about this game. Other than the Zelda moments. And I don't know, like, they do so many things to kind of like streamline the game and remove some shitty quirks that God of War and Zelda have in their games, just because they feel like video game tropes.
Like having the horse pop right out of the ground instead of calling for it.
Yep, just hitting left bumper and right bumper, and the horse erupts from the ground underneath you and catches you in full stride, and you're just going, instead of like whipping out the ocarina and hitting
Oh, you liked this part too, right?
Oh yeah, like so this is like just a small thing. So every game like this, you have a block to push around.
Mm-hmm.
Here you have a ball, and you roll it around 360 degrees. Like when you get the block, you have to get on different. I guess God of War
90 degrees.
God of War kind of added a little bit of side to side angled sliding, but not nearly as much as this. And the same thing for crawling on the vertical vines.
Mm-hmm.
God of War, you're up and down and you're left and right. Cardinal directions, that's it. And this, and I don't even think there's any combat ever in this game on the vines, the way that there is in God of War. So the puzzle here is you have to throw one of the bombs at the ball to like knock it out of the previous little divot, and then move that ball back to like this other divot to get the fence to drop all the way to get the skeleton key.
Boss key?
No, there's no boss keys in this game. So the dungeons are much more linear in this than like old school Zelda bosses or dungeons. Like old school Zelda ones, I feel like you could get the boss key before. Like you could do things in their own kind of order, and you really had to explore sometimes. In this, it's much more straightforward, which I think helps eliminate a lot of the Zelda moments, because in this game you'll find a Zelda moment and you know you're in the right room at least. A lot of the times in the Zelda moments, like how often do you...
Yeah, you're like, I don't even know where the fuck I'm supposed to be.
Okay, I'm gonna backtrack for half an hour and hopefully something that happened half an hour ago will trigger something in this new room.
Yeah.
In this, it's much more delineated. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but it's much more structured.
At least you know where you're stuck.
Yes, you know where you're stuck. That's a very good way to put it. So the puzzle right there was, I don't know, like these aren't really puzzles yet. I guess they're mini, very, very preschool puzzles. Like even some of the later ones, they're not, like to get through the game, they're not super difficult, but a lot of the hidden stuff, like you remember late in Zelda games. Okay, so these are the kind of puzzles I like. Like I saw that there's a treasure chest on the map, and there was the corruption guarding it. And I had to find the little bomb later on and backtrack a little bit to get to it. Those are the really good puzzles. Those are the ones that kind of stretch your imagination and make you think a little bit. Whereas most of the dungeon puzzles in this game, you'll still get Zelda moments, but they're not as abstract as like finding the treasure chests. So I'm going to be doing everything I can to find all the treasure chests in this game and like in this guide, and show all the abstract puzzles if you can't figure out how to get like that one treasure chest that's on. You found the dungeon map, so it's got all the treasure chests marked,
but there's one
one you're just like, I don't even see this thing on the map. How the fuck do I get to it?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do everything I can to get all those in the video. But so the next video is the Garn boss battle. Very end of the Cauldron dungeon.